This is Listen After Watching,
a podcast where we recap and discuss the most mind-bending, twisty, and thought-provoking TV shows and movies out there. I'm Adrian.
And I'm Alicia. Let's dive in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to your favorite non-incestuous sibling podcast. I'm Adrian. This is my sibling.
Alicia, thank you for clarifying non-incestuous.
Yeah, should we say that every time?
Maybe we should.
Just
and
to
I would
make
love
sure.
to hear your favorite incestuous sibling podcast.
Oh, I have a list. Everybody, are you ready to talk about episode 5 of The White Lotus?
I am so ready. If you're talking to me, I'll answer, because this episode was really good. I loved it. I laughed out loud multiple times.
I thought it was pretty good too. Yeah, there was a lot of comedy in this one, I think. A lot happened. I feel like we didn't get any closer to the final mystery of who dies and who does the killing, but a lot did happen, and we get to finally see this full moon party that they've been talking about for a while now. So yeah, we are ready to dive into all the wackiness that happens.
Wackiness.
First, before we start, though, I need to announce something to everyone, and it is weighing heavy on my heart.
Uh-oh.
But I have to say that I do have jury duty tomorrow.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know where this was going.
I found out just 30 minutes ago, maybe.
Oh, man.
And my heart is broken. I can't think of how to get out of it, so.
I'm so sorry. I hope that you don't have to stay there all day.
I know. Do you know what the worst part is? They don't even let you bring your phone in. So you have to sit there with like a book or something, analog.
A book?
I can't even bring my Kindle.
What? Really?
Yeah.
That sucks. You need a physical, actual book. Well, do you have
Yeah.
something to occupy yourself?
Well, I have these books over here. I guess I'll pick one. Like, what am I going to do just sitting there if there's nothing to do? I don't know.
Yeah, and certainly the answer is not make conversation with people around you.
Absolutely not. Actually, it might be forbidden, so I don't know.
It's forbidden. Yeah, true.
Anyway, I
my
will
gosh.
report back in our next episode how that went, and I will give you all
Excellent.
the details. Just kidding. I can't talk about the case. You guys, stop.
No. High-profile murder case that you will
trying.
surely be a part of.
God, I hope I'm not a part of anything, and they're just like, you know what? We don't trust you. Go home.
You're not the man for the job.
Yeah, I look a little too queer for this situation. Get out of here.
In this country nowadays, I mean, that could be a reason to dismiss
Actually,
you.
they might lock me up. I don't know. I might be in Guantanamo. I don't know. Oh, God. I hope we can record another episode next week. Everyone look out for it. If we don't have one up, you know what happened.
I'm crying. Okay. Anyway, well, before we jump in, I will give our perpetual spoiler alert. If you haven't watched The White Lotus, Season 3, Episode 5, called Full Moon Party, go watch the party. It's so worth it. If you kind of petered off this season, this is a reason to come back. I think it will win you back over. So check it out and come back and listen to what we have to say.
Yeah, for sure. It's starting to pick up and get spicy in ways you might not even want, but it is a spicy. Well, let's jump right into our list of suspects this episode, starting with the girls trip. Okay, so last episode we left off, the girls had met up with Valentine and his little buddies, his two little friends. In this episode, they are just getting right to it and dancing. They are leaving it all on the floor.
They are loving it. This was such a... So, Lori's dance moves are so bad. And Kate's. I love it so much. And it was just like, they were so feeling themselves, like probably haven't been on a dance floor in a long, long, long time.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah, there
funny.
was a lot of love for Lori's dance moves this episode, and Lori in general. I think
Yeah.
she's pretty relatable. There's some interesting stuff that happens when they're still at the full moon party. For one of the guys brings back shots for everyone, which are a little suspicious because we already don't trust these guys.
Yeah.
So I don't know about you, but I was immediately like, you're getting roofied, you're getting roofied.
I thought that too. I mean, it didn't seem to turn out to be true, but I was definitely suspicious. And then Kate is like, she's ready to go home. She's kind of trying to shut the party down a little bit, and she doesn't take a shot. But
Yeah.
then Lori ends up taking her shot, and she is such a dork. Like, I can't get over how dorky she is
I
drunk.
know. It's really cute.
Yeah, it is cute.
But yeah, she takes 2 shots and then we're like, oh no, she's gonna die or something. But everything seemed to work out okay. I feel like Mike White is kind of dangling this like terror in front of us. Like we're just waiting for the other shoe to drop with this group. But
For
it
sure.
hasn't quite happened yet. It does a little bit at the end of the episode. But the other interesting thing that happens when they're still out is this group of Russian girls comes up and starts arguing with the guys, and like they're basically having a fight in the middle of the party. So this was also a little suspicious. Like, who are these girls? Are you guys like in a relationship with these girls? Are you all working together to somehow like put one over on this group of tourists? What is going on here? What did you think about this?
Well, the only thing I could think of when I realized there's a larger Russian population here is I just remembered when we were in Thailand and we went to that one hotel, and it was so strange. We get there and like there are signs, for things like the bathroom or like directions to other places to go in the hotel. And it was like the order of languages was this: Russian first, Thai second, English third. It was like they were catering to obviously a big like Russian tourism thing. And there were a lot of people there who seemed to be Russian. So I was just like, I was impressed by the accuracy of what seems to be maybe a highly trodden tourist area for Russian people.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, we I don't even remember who booked this. It was probably our parents or something, but we enter this place and it's like completely Russian, and you don't expect to see a group of Russians or the Russian signs when you're in Thailand. It's just not something you see. So yeah, this was like, it must have been like travel agents just like all sending everyone to this
Yeah, right,
resort.
totally. I think that's gotta be it. But yeah, that was my only thought. I didn't really think about the fact that they could be working together, but I guess
It just
could
seemed
be
like
true.
obviously it's serving some purpose in the story, right? Otherwise they wouldn't have had these girls come up and yell at them. So I don't know. I don't know yet, but something's up.
Yeah. Well, the girls coming up to the table prompts them to say, let's go back to the hotel and invite the boys back, which Kate is totally against, but she is outnumbered. So they continue their debauchery back at their villa and their pool. And Lori even takes her top off at one point. She's so crazy. I love her.
Oh my God, we get boobies. We got peen, we got boobies. The show has it all. Can I just say, like, after the reveal of Kate being like a Trump supporter, I never thought I was going to relate to her. But this episode, I was like, yeah, let's go home. Let's go to bed.
Yes,
Let's send these guys away. I was with her for this one. She's like sitting beside the pool when they all get back there in her PJs, and I was like, that is me.
That would be me too.
That would be me. I'd like bring the
100%.
blanket out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Just make sure my friends don't get abducted.
Totally. Yeah, I think she was just playing
Babysitter.
babysitter, yeah, for sure. And it was really funny that she was like connecting genuinely with Vlad, the guy, like the bald guy of the group. Like they were seriously having like good conversations a couple of times, and and she like even gave him like a really sweet hug goodbye when they left. So I think she made a new friend.
Yeah, he's like confiding in her about, I don't remember, his aunt thinking that he's responsible for his cousin's death or some crazy story.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was funny. Either. And then the other four are just acting crazy in the pool and having fun. I really, again, expected this to veer off into like unsafe land, but it seemed okay. And when it was time to wrap it up, everyone, like the guys left and everyone goes back to their room, or so we thought.
Ooh la la.
Lo and behold, we see an ass scratch scene from Lori. She's tucked away in bed. And then we see Jacqueline acting like a little minx.
Oh yeah,
and our boy Valentine sneaks back into the hotel room and they get it on.
They F.
So,
man, okay, Jacqueline is a mess. Jacqueline is a mess, and it's coming out so strong. So, like, back in the club when they're dancing, she sees these girls watching her. They probably recognize her, or maybe they're just like, look at these old white women in this club. Yeah. But either way, these girls are watching her, and she uses that opportunity to like flaunt the fact that she's dancing with these two young guys, and she's like grinding up on them and like trying to look real sexy.
Yeah.
And it's like so obvious how much she wants to be seen as young and sexy. And I think even in this, like her calling Valentine to come meet her, like she was trying to get him and Lori to hook up like this whole time. But she just is so insecure, and I think there's like a little competition even happening in her mind. Like it's all in her head. That she just like couldn't help herself. She had to take him for herself.
Yeah, it's honestly really sad. Like she's so deeply insecure. Like there's several comments where someone was like, "Oh, we're just too old for that," and she's like actually offended. She's like,
She's
"No,
mad.
we're not." It's like, whoa, chill out. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if Lori's upset about this, because Lori's the only single one in this group and the only one that should be acting up and acting a fool. Jacqueline has her little husband or whatever back home. So yeah, she's out of pocket. She's acting out of pocket here.
Certainly.
And I'm just waiting for it all to blow up in their faces.
Yeah, excited to see what happens. I think they were potentially supposed to be going to a Muay Thai fight with them the next day. So
yeah,
maybe that's where our story continues. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, let's talk about the staff. There's a lot of drama with the staff happening in this episode. So at the end of the last episode, we know that Guy Talk discovered that the gun was missing. So he just sucks at his job, but we love him anyway. So he's kind of, we see him back in the security hut. He's kind of scrambling, and he's like, oh, I can look at security footage. So he sees very clearly that Tim Ratliff took his gun. And so he makes his way over to like the dining area because it's dinner time, to like scope him out, and sees him and is watching him. kind of confronts him, but he's so non-confrontational. He truly is like just smiling and waving people into the gate, that he follows Tim into the bathroom and he's like, I think you have something of mine.
Oh my God.
And Tim's like, no, I
Nope.
don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. Don't know what
He
you're talking
leaves.
about. And he's just like,
Immediately leaves.
please give me my gun back, please.
Please, I think you might have accidentally taken something. You didn't mean to, probably, but you have it, maybe. And please, could you give it back to me? I really need it. I'm going to lose my job and I won't be able to hang out with my girlfriend no more, please.
If you stopped listening, we understand.
Are we writers? Oh my God. I am so frustrated with this guy. Oh my God. He doesn't even use the word gun. He's like, I think you might have something. Like, oh my God, block the door. Get the fucking gun back, bro. Oh,
It's so frustrating.
he's in the wrong line of work. I saw someone say he needs to work in a library, and I think actually he might be too head empty for even that. I don't know what he needs to do.
Dewey Decimal is too complicated for this guy, okay? Come on. Ugh. Poor man.
Jeez. Well, also in this episode, we see Belinda take some action about her knowledge of Greg/Gary and Tanya's death, and her thinking that he definitely had something to do with it. So she decides to go to Fabian, which turns out to probably be the worst decision ever, because he, first of all, just seems like he's not understanding at all. Or if he is understanding, doesn't see the problem. And then by the end of it, he like completely shuts her down and is like, no, we're not calling the police. We're not getting authorities involved. I think you'll be okay. He says, I think you'll survive, which very ominous for this show.
He's like, it's not right to gossip about the guests. And I'm like, dude, are you serious?
He was literally coming up to her being like, ooh, someone's kind of interested in you. Ooh, I'm going to introduce you.
I know.
I hate this little shit. I do not like this guy.
Can we also say his little scene about the antacid, asking if Guy Talk needs an antacid, made me laugh out loud. That was really funny.
Yeah, sometimes I have stomach problems.
You want antacid?
And Guy Talk's like, I have never heard of that word. I don't know what you're saying. Also, when Guy Talk goes to confront, quote unquote, heavy air quotes, confront Tim, Fabian sees him and is like, why are you here? What are you doing away from your post? Like, it's just the dumb leading the dumber here, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Fabian is super unhelpful, even a hindrance, and probably will be the cause of some danger ensuing. But thankfully, Belinda is smart and tells Ponchai about Gary. So we at least have someone else brought in who's not Fabian, and someone with some muscles who can protect my girl.
Oh, snap.
Man. He also he saves her from the noise that we've been hearing in every episode since it started. We were unsure what it was, but it turns out that it was a giant lizard behind her dresser.
A giant lizard. That thing is freaky. I would be scared too. I am still thinking, though, that there's going to be, like you said, there's going to be future noises, and then someone's just going to be like, oh, that's just another lizard.
Yeah, possibly. So you don't think the lizard buildup was just for this moment where Belinda and Ponchai could have a romantic knight in shining armor moment?
I don't think they needed that. I think she's already scared, and he was already there, so.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
Belinda is pretty bold here, and she's like, will you actually stay with me tonight? Like, My son will be here tomorrow, but tonight I'm scared. And Ponchai says, absolutely, and gets into his little robe.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Another, like, laugh out loud moment was Belinda just basically telling him, like, you can sleep in my bed.
I know.
But she was like, you have my consent. Is that a thing here? We just started, so.
Yeah, we just started doing that.
Yeah, that's new to us, so.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
I really hope Ponchai doesn't end up being like a piece of shit or something, because Belinda is the beloved character this season, I think, which
Totally.
makes me scared
Yeah.
for who's
yeah.
going to die.
I know. I only get good vibes from Ponchai, so.
Yeah, so far so good. And they finally share a kiss into bed.
It was sweet.
Yeah. Get it in before your
Happy
son
for
gets
her.
here.
Get it in before you get murdered, so.
Or that. Oh, Lord. Well, let's move on to the Outlaws. So, Rick has finally made it to Bangkok after us hearing about this for so long. And he meets up with this old friend. This is a new character who it seems as if he has worked with in the past to do some unsavory things, probably. So they meet up at this hotel. The friend brings him a bag, which we find out later contains a gun. But they start chilling at the hotel bar, and this friend gets into a long story. This monologue must have been really fun to memorize. But this was a wild one, and I want to actually talk about it because obviously Mike White didn't put this in for no reason.
Yeah. Well, what are you thinking about it?
Well, so let's talk about what he says. So basically, this guy was like a sex addict and really loved Asian women and had a ton of money. So he came to Thailand and just like started sleeping with as many women as he could. But he found that that wasn't like scratching his itch or satisfying him. And then he started to think, maybe I want to be them. Maybe I want to be having sex with me as an Asian woman. And so he starts getting, quote unquote, railed by men. And
Yeah, even like wearing lingerie, putting on perfume and everything.
yeah, just like exploring, do I want to be this person, or do I like this person, or do I want to be this person? And then the final evolution of this was, no, I want to be railed as an Asian woman by myself, by someone who looks like me. So he finds this guy who looks like him and then has sex with him as him being the Asian woman. It was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
And apparently now he's found religion and is celibate
Yes.
and sober.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I think moral of the story here, none of that sex was like going to fulfill him.
Well, surely,
But-
yes.
I'm wondering, like, who are they talking about here? Are they talking about, I mean, the first person that comes to mind is Saxon. With his, like, constantly talking about women and trying to sleep with women and
Taking
that
what you
sort of
want.
thing.
Yeah.
But we also see a different side of Lachlan this episode, which makes me think maybe there's something there about him.
Yeah.
I have heard other theories also that maybe Rick's dad has been living as a woman, and that's going to be something he finds out.
Interesting.
But there's
Wow.
definitely a lot of commentary about like gender roles and what that means. And this episode even hits on like the pressure that men feel to like provide for their families and things like that. So I'm really interested to see how this guy's story like ties into some of the other things we learn in future episodes.
Yeah, I'm sure that there will be some themes that are relevant to our other characters. But I also thought like this was just kind of a true, you know, the ugly truth of maybe why some white men, let's be honest, go to Thailand is because they have Asian fetishes. They have, unfortunately, access to a lot of women because of the sex trafficking tourism there. And I think it's like, it is kind of like seeing it truly on its face. Like, this is somebody who succumbed to, you know, all of the pleasure, quote unquote, that Thailand has to offer and still found themselves as empty as they came.
Yeah. And probably, I mean, also, obviously, the fact that so many men just do not love themselves and can't, like, including Rick,
Preach.
who's
Yep.
dealing with these demons and has been his entire life and, like, can't live with himself, basically. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, maybe this will send Rick to become more introspective or even like seek out Amrita if he goes back to the resort. Like, I think it might send him on a introspective journey, seeing his friend be so honest and see like where his life led him because of the choices he made.
yeah. Whoa. I mean, I think there would be so many more stories like this if people were just honest about like what they really felt and what they're really
Totally.
like doing. So I think everyone was kind of shocked by the story and like, whoa, that was crazy. But I mean, I think we would all be shocked to know like how many people this probably like fits their actual story or something
Absolutely.
similar. Maybe not like
Yeah.
running through millions of women in Thailand, but
Maybe not. Maybe not. Well, I guess we can talk about the other outlaws now. So while Rick is in Bangkok, or Bangkok, as Chelsea likes to say, Chelsea's on the boat with Chloe and Saxon and Lachlan, and she is just really worried about what's going to happen with Rick. And she's talking with Chloe, and she says, I feel like something really bad is going to happen. Rick's a hothead. I'm usually there to calm him down. And Chloe is just here for a good time, not a long time. And she's like, who cares? Let's have fun.
Chloe is that friend that gets you into trouble.
Definitely.
Yeah, Chelsea is like really, really worried about Rick. And she's just had this feeling for a while. Last episode, she was like, bad things happen in threes. Something really bad's going to happen. She says it again. Something horrible's going to happen. And I believe her. I do believe her that something bad's going to happen. We'll see if Rick is involved in that. But yeah, obviously she's kind of like, I don't know, not the voice of reason, but like, she's saying the thing that we all know is true, that something bad's going to happen, but she's the only one that can see it right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, let's see, the brothers are wilding out on this trip. So in the beginning, Saxon kind of like makes this plan, like, oh, Chloe likes you. You should like try to hook up with her and I'll go after Chelsea.
Yeah. Well, you know, Chelsea's I'm going to be really disappointed if Chelsea ends up hooking up with Saxon, but Chloe, can we talk about Chloe's like predatory behavior on this little boy? She's like the little magician. I
know.
You know, like to see their hearts pound in their chest when they see me naked.
I know.
Like,
it's
nasty.
honestly gross.
He's a senior in high school.
Yeah. Gross. Wait, is he going to be a senior? I'm so disturbed.
He must be 18, I would hope, but you
I
never
think
know.
he's going to college. He's going to college.
Yeah, he's going
But
to college.
still, the whole situation that happens here between all of these people is pretty gross. So they're kind of partying. They're like out on the streets, like hanging out, doing their thing, partying with everyone. And then Chloe shows up with some pills, probably ecstasy or Molly or something. And they all take one. Lachlan like pops one in his mouth before Saxon can even say no. And then Saxon's like, I don't do drugs. Surprisingly.
I know.
Doesn't want to
I
do
was
it.
like, these are your morals? You don't do drugs?
This little shit. And then finally he's convinced to do it. I want to say I didn't see this, y'all, when I first watched it. But on Reddit, people were saying Lachlan spits his pill out after everyone walks away. I went back.
Either.
I went back and watched, and it does look like he could have spit it out. Like the camera hangs back on him, and he like kind of puts his head down, and like it looks like he could have spit it out. It's really subtle. But if that's the case, then what happens next is maybe even weirder.
Yeah. So, okay. So they party on the island, whatever. They're all like rolling, and so they're having a great time and
Rolling in
drinking
the
and
deep.
everything. And then they get back onto the boat, and debauchery continues. They're dancing. It's just the four of them. And I think the girls kiss first. Not that weird. They're just friends. They're not related.
That just goes.
They just goes. And then Chloe, of course it's Chloe, is like, you two kiss. And they do a little peck, but then they get full on like a little mini makeout sesh.
Yeah, Lachlan goes in for like an actual kiss.
Yeah.
And then it pulls away, like Lachlan pulls away, and the shot is just on Saxon. And he's like looking a little dazed and like out of it, and like, what was that? But I guess the incest has finally reached us in this episode, in this season. I think everyone's kind of scared that we're going to see more next episode. I think that's probably true. I think this was a little bit of a teaser of what's going to happen.
I could also see that the next episode or future episodes, Saxon is maybe like beating himself up about what happened and maybe taking it out on Lachlan in like violent or aggressive way. Like, I don't know. I could see it going a different way, like it kind of fracturing their relationship and it ending in some moment of violence. Who knows?
Yeah, that's possible. I will say there were some weird dynamics and conversations and little things that they have together this episode. One of them, they're talking about like basically what are we do, like the meaning of life and what we're doing here. And Lachlan is like, well, what if this is just a test and we're like supposed to become better people? And Saxon, like, as we would expect, kind of like shakes it off and is like,
what?
No, what the fuck are you talking about? He's never considered anything like that before in his life. But later, while they're on the boat, Lachlan has like this look in his eye and he's like, I'm going to take you down one day.
Mm-hmm.
Which, that was weird. I'm like, Lachlan,
Yeah.
Are you going to be murderous?
I know. Yeah. They also have some dialogue where Saxon's like, some people just want to be told what to do, or like you know, want to be controlled or whatever. And I think so far Lachlan has been that type of person. He's like, just whatever Piper or Saxon tell him to do. Like when he said maybe this life is a test, Like, that sounds like straight out of Piper's mouth, you know? That's
Yeah.
probably where he got that thought. So I feel like that was maybe Saxon talking about unknowingly, like, what Lachlan has been like so far. But I think we're going to see a turn in Lachlan as we did this episode, where he's like, he's partying, he's doing risky things. And I think he's going to transform for better or worse.
Yeah, we might see a turn to our dear Lachlan. Now that we're talking about this, I have something else that I'm thinking. Do you remember on the first episode when we were introduced to that poisonous fruit and then it's never mentioned again?
Forgot about it.
Wondering if that is going to make its way into Saxon's protein shakes at some point.
Oh, shit. I hadn't thought about it that way, that precisely. Wow. That'd be crazy.
Wait, what if I don't think Timothy would do this. But I was thinking, what if Timothy pulled like a cult murder, family murder, and like gave
Oh my God.
fruit?
That'd be crazy. Yeah, I feel like the poisonous fruit's probably going to come back around. I forgot about it, though.
And maybe it'll be meant for Saxon, but Lachlan will drink it or something crazy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I like the protein shake theory. I think that has legs.
Yeah, I mean, they've shown it so much, it's gotta mean something.
Yeah.
Well, since we're talking about the Ratliffs already, sorry, that's
Let's
yours.
talk- You're fine, Tina. Well, since we are talking about the Ratliffs already, let's talk about the Ratliffs.
Already.
So we see Piper at dinner alone, breaking the news to her parents that there is no thesis. My plan is to move to Thailand after I graduate and join this meditation center for at least a year. And as all women like Victoria, moms like her might react, she goes on this like microaggression tirade about about Piper's plan. So she says, but you're not Buddhist. And she's like, I am. Like, haven't you noticed that I'm trying to practice Buddhism? And she says, honey, you're not from China. Oh my God. I was cracking up at Victoria's little one-liners here.
Yeah. It's funny, like, she's obviously educated technically, but also so just like, what's the word?
Ignorant.
Completely ignorant. Poor Piper is like the only sane one in this family and having to deal with all this bullshit. She also says, Victoria also says, you want to live in Taiwan? While physically being present in Thailand. Hilarious.
Listen, I cannot tell you, I don't know how often this has happened to you, but I cannot tell you the amount of times I have said to someone that my mom is Thai and they say, oh, from Taiwan? Like,
yeah,
people
all-
are just
all the time.
ignorant to that.
All the time. Yeah, this is a fun. Yeah, this is like so believable, but also the fact that she's literally in Thailand at the moment she's saying it makes it even more hilarious.
Hilarious. I love it.
But yeah, the whole time they're having this conversation, Timothy continues to crash out as he has been. Again, just falling deeper into his plate. And yeah, sneaks away from the table a couple times. He's just like completely losing it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. We see them continue their conversation back at their villa living room area. And Victoria says, like, I'm going to have to drink myself to sleep now. She's just still really upset. She's carrying this argument back to their villa. So she's like, she goes off to go to sleep. Piper looks for some consolation from her dad. Like, why is she so crazy? Like, why is she acting like this? And he is clearly like having a really like lorazepammed out emotional moment, and he's reflecting on like how he was an altar boy and he starts singing a hymn. It's just really unhinged.
Poor Piper. It's hilarious to me that Victoria's freaking out about Piper when her husband has ruined their family completely. Her sons are off making out. Like, leave Piper alone.
I know. I feel for her. But she doesn't want to subscribe to the bullshit like Saxon, as she says.
Yeah. Honestly, the only one with a reasonable head on her shoulders here. But it's this night that we finally get to see what Tim's plans were with this gun he stole. So everyone's asleep. He's in the hotel room writing a note. And the note says, I think it says something like, I'm sorry, I love you all. Something like that. So he takes the gun, puts it up against his head. I was like really bracing. I was like, oh my God,
Same.
I can't believe Mike White is about to show a suicide here. He pulls the trigger and it clicks. There's no bullet in the chamber. So he like sighs a sigh of relief, and then Victoria comes out. Somehow she's woken up. The alcohol didn't do it for her. And she's like, what are you doing out here? And starts questioning him and is like, you haven't been acting like yourself lately. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And Tim kind of has this moment where he starts to open up like slightly, and he's like, you don't understand the expectations, like the stress that he feels to like provide for his family and everything. And she says, there's no reason to be stressed, Tim. You've already succeeded in every way. Which, like, everything she says is like not helping his situation at all.
I know.
But she's like, okay, I guess I'll fix that. And she goes to sleep. And then finally, in the final scene, Tim is praying to God and asks God to tell him what to do, which kind of a callback to Saxon saying some people just want to be told what to do.
Yeah. And like earlier in the bed, Victoria and Tim were in the bed before he got up to go write his suicide note. She is like lamenting about Piper's decision, and she says like she's like praying to God in that moment because she's so distraught about this very benign decision that her daughter is making for her life. And I think the spirituality talk and Tim kind of being interrupted in his plans caused him to just go down a different path and try something else. And I think it will only work for so long. The wave, the tsunami is coming to crash down on them at any moment. So we'll see how far this gets him.
Yeah. Again, hilarious. Like, she's praying to God because she's worried about being embarrassed that Piper's going to be gone for a year doing some meditation thing, while everything that she owns is like about to be gone, and they're going to be ruined as a family.
Oh my gosh.
Man. Well, what a wild episode. We've got a couple little theories. I will say there's no major developments in theories that I've seen that make a lot of sense. One of the first things that people are talking about is Fabian, after what we see with his handling of Belinda's story. people are saying maybe he's in on some of the stuff going on, and maybe he's like been working with Gary / Greg, and maybe the White Lotus and Greg are kind of intertwined in some way. He did seem really quick to like poo-poo the idea of calling the police or telling anyone.
Yeah.
I think I don't know, he seems kind of too stupid to be bad. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I believe that, but yeah, we'll see. I think he is just probably kind of dumb and like super risk averse, and but I think his actions one way or another will result in something bad happening, or his lack of action.
Yeah.
This one I added was more an assessment and less a theory, but I saw people just talking about Chloe, and we talked about it a little bit this episode, but Chloe being the truly amoral one when we look at our cast of characters. Like, we see Saxon being outright bad and just, you know, saying really insensitive things and being really dismissive of like his sister or anything that's not like hyper masculine alpha male. But when we look at Chloe's actions this episode, I think we get to see her in not so great a light. Like, she's really encouraging bad behavior, and at the expense of those who even she might claim to be her friend. Like, I think Chelsea could get burned really badly by Chloe because Chloe just doesn't care.
Yeah, it seems like everyone's expendable to her. And she's mentioned several times that her husband's dangerous, that Gary Gregg could potentially kill them, like, or kill her.
Yeah.
It's just very odd. Yeah, obviously not a good person, and again, probably going to have a hand in some of the mess that happens.
Yeah.
The other theory people are bringing this episode is that Lachlan is not as innocent as we think. So if he did in fact spit that pill out and still like went in for this makeout with his brother, that's kind of creepy.
Nasty. Yeah.
I do think
they didn't make it super obvious if that was the case.
No, they didn't. It was like pretty subtle. But even still, he does seem to have the upper hand in this situation. He seems less out of it. He's like the one making the move, which is like the opposite of the power dynamic we've seen with those two. So it might be a signal that, again, like we said, Lachlan's going to make a change here.
Yep. Wow. Well, I can't wait to see what happens next.
Let's see. We have 4 episodes left.
I think so.
Wow. We got lots of stuff left to do. Well, I'm excited for Zion to finally make it to Thailand.
So true.
And there's got to be some more drama with Belinda here. I don't know if Zion's going to help the situation with Gary, or what's going to happen there. If he's like protective, it might make tensions rise a little bit more. We'll see.
That's true. Well, please join us next week as we talk about the next episode of The White Lotus. And if you are a Severance fan and you're listening to our episodes on that, this week is the finale. Tomorrow is the finale. I can't believe it.
Oh my gosh. I know. What an amazing show. We hope that if you haven't watched it yet, go back and watch it. You can listen to our podcasts about each of the episodes. Man, what an incredible series. We're going to have a Severance party Thursday night to watch the last episode. Maybe we'll post some stuff about that. But yeah, super excited for that. I think we're also going to be doing some coverage of Black Mirror, which is coming back out next month. with another season. Love
Yeah.
Black Mirror. Always so fun, especially that each episode is its own independent story. We love that.
Yeah, and the cast is looking awesome. I don't know if you've seen any trailers, but it looks like it'll be a good one.
Yeah, Black Mirror's really picked up like some clout and like A-level actors, so I'm excited.
Me too.
All right, y'all. Well, so what de crap, and we will see you next week. Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.